What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy, and you're watching Warfels Morse. Tonight, everybody, we have good friends of mine, John and Haley from KL Constrictors, joining us. They're part of the PA Breeders crew. They come here for the Breeders Barbecue. Some of the other breeder events that we get all go and hang out with, which, Phil, if you're in the chat, dude, and you haven't commented yet, you got to get something going on here for another Shady Maple thing, dude. Pretty sure all of us are really wanting another Shady Maple event. But anyway, let's get on with it, and let's bring out John and Haley. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Let's say hello to some of the fine people in the audience tonight. Lexi, what's up, dear? Good to see you, sweetie. We'll see you Christmas Eve, and I gotta talk to your dad about the dog you guys just got. I don't understand how you can get a dog, but you're not allowed to get a snake. We're gonna have to talk that one out there. I don't quite understand that one. Chris, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Dude, I wish I would have been able to attend last night. I also have a couple of questions for you next time I see you. I'm trying to figure out why, like, some of the pictures you took were like very, like, there needed to be some explaining with some of the actions that you caught the people midway doing. Like John was doing something weird looking. Nathan looks like he was yelled at and just kind of head down, like it was just funny. And then on top of it, Chris sent me a picture. They had me playing in the background, so like I was there in spirit or something. So it was kind of funny. John, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in, John. Everybody, I will be on John's live stream January, what was it, John? 16th, I think. Let me pull it up here quick. I think it's January 16th. Yes. I will be a guest on his live stream. And on top of it, he's one of my YouTube members. Here is the link if anybody would like to join and become a member of the YouTube channel. It's a little bit different than subscribing. It's like a monthly fee. You get some different perks. You get some like swag stuff. You know, depends on what tier you get as far as what you do get in return. But here is the link. Check it out. Hopefully, you know, there's something there that kind of strikes your fancy. So yeah, check that out. All the support is greatly appreciated. Super chats as well are greatly appreciated, everybody. If anybody does a super chat, it goes now towards just feeding the snakes. I can thankfully say it goes to feeding the snakes now. Or maybe I'll put it towards PVC enclosures for the carpets. I don't know. But it doesn't go towards the ultrasound anymore, everybody. That is taken care of. So thank you very much for everybody that donated to that. I greatly appreciate it. Kike, what's going on, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Sean, what's going on, dude? You guys know Sean.
I think we did. Yeah.
Sean Pinejoy is there at the breakfast and the barbecue. Ed, what's up, dude? We were just talking about you, dude. Your ears must have been burning or something. That's fine. Like, legit, we were just talking about you backstage. All good things, though. All good things. But, yeah, we were just talking about you, bro. Good to see you, and happy holidays to you as well, good sir. Let's see. Sammy, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Jose, what's going on? Good to see you in the chat again, Jose. It's been a long time, dude. Long time. We've got John and Christine from Triforce. What's going on? They will be on Triforce. John and Christine from Triforce. Chris from BNS will be on next week's live. It's on Friday, though. I'm not going to be here Sunday, folks. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it on Christmas Day. My wife would kill me. We're going to do it on Friday. We're going to have John and Christine, Chris. We've got Nathan from Infinite Possible Pythons, and we've got the one and only Danny from DTMG Pythons. And I think we need to add geckos onto the back end of that now. Not entirely sure what he's advertising himself as, but I think he's going to geckos, everybody. I mean, Danny, you got to make up your mind, dude. Especially these Exantic geckos he talks about. I don't see the Exantic in them, but whatever. I don't know. You would think a colorblind person could see the xanthic.
I don't even think I've seen them.
Yeah,
They don't look xanthic at all. From what I've seen, they just look like crested geckos. I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen the right ones. Let's see here. We got Florida born. What's going on? Thank you for tuning in. All support is greatly appreciated, everybody. DTMG, don't touch my geckos. yes, that would work out there. That works there, Chris. Good one, dude. So, John and Haley, tell us a little bit about yourselves, guys. What got you into the hobby? What are you working with? All that good stuff.
Boas.
Mainly what we work with is Boas. I guess we got two different stories a little bit. I had a ball python growing up, and I guess my dad had a buddy when I was a little kid that had a cobra and a python and an alligator and a talking parrot, and he was a biker and all this stuff. And my dad used to bring me there as like a 4-year-old kid. That was like, it was like heaven on earth. It was like, Neverland or something. So I think that's what put it in my head. And then I had a ball python growing up. Got out of it. I actually got a Dumeral's boa. I guess maybe 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago. And and then it went from there. And then I got into boas, and And now we have, I don't even know how many boas we have now.
Too many boas. Not enough boas, though.
Yeah.
I guess me. My dad used to take me to pet shows, pet expos, and there used to be this vendor that would be at the Reptile Kingdom. And I just thought the reptiles were the coolest thing. So my dad found the Hamburg Reptile Show, and we ended up going there, and I used to go there all the time, and every time they had a show pretty much, and just started coming home with bearded dragons and different things, and it was always no snakes, anything but a snake. My parents wouldn't let me have snakes. But I finally snuck a snake in. My dad and I snuck a snake home, a little corn snake, and after my mom saw how easy they are to take care of, it was like, okay, you can only have snakes, nothing else. So
okay. I was expecting you to say once mom found out, that was it. That thing was out. But
I just realized how easy they were. Bearded dragons were, I started with breeding bearded dragons, and they're so much work. They need crickets, and they need veggies, and they need to eat every day in ultraviolet light, and they can have issues with humidity and too much humidity or too little humidity, and so many things. And they don't sell for enough money.
Lizards in general are they're just too much work. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I like snakes. They're simple. They're easy. Dom used to have a leopard gecko. Actually, he had 2 of them. And I hated it when he would go to his mom's house. And then old dad stuck feeding and taking care of this stupid thing. And I'd go up there. I mean, it was cute. I loved leopard geckos. I mean, they're beautiful to look at. They always look so happy. And but it was just like, I got tired of having to constantly remember to go up and feed the thing crickets, or I'd go up there and he'd never told me it was out of crickets, that I'd have to run to the pet shop, go get crickets. I was happy, as sad as it was, because it broke his heart when the things actually died.
Yeah.
But at the same token, I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to go get freaking crickets anymore.
Yeah.
If it has to eat more than once a week, then I don't want anything to do with it.
Yes, that's exactly where I'm at. It's like if it has legs, I don't really want it.
Except for dogs. I do love dogs.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I like dogs. I like cats, but I don't want a dog or a cat in the house either.
They're a lot of work, man. Ton of work.
A lot of work, and our neighbors have them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they were doing it at the barbecue, but they bark nonstop if you're outside.
Yeah.
So that just drives me up a wall, and it made me not want dogs at all.
Yappy dogs can be extremely annoying for sure. But,
yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Holdback Rack. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. I believe that's Jessica, I think. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, I saw Chris even say her name. Yep, there we go. Jessica, what's up? Oof. Let's see. John says that's why I don't have kids.
We hear you on that front.
Yeah.
Speaking of the kids thing, coming up, everybody, in February, my third one will be here. So February is going to be very touch and go as far as what I have scheduled for lives, because obviously I don't know when Kara's going to go. I could tell her not to do it on a Sunday, but she doesn't listen to me any other time. So why would she listen to me on that one?
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is it. I'm done after this. I'm done. Only scaly babies from now on. I'm just done. I don't want any more children.
Yeah.
I love them. Hadley's my little princess. She's probably the only one in the house that loves to come down here and spend time with me in the snake room. But it's even her down here, it becomes complete chaos. Like complete and utter chaos.
Just randomly tubs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Like she's like, I was stupid. I left her open up the empty tubs. Okay. I didn't stop her from. I figured they're empty, whatever. Well, now she's getting taller, so she can, she gets to the tubs that have the actual snakes in them now, and she's getting stronger, so she can pull out the full size tubs. So now I got to really watch her.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Can't turn your back for a second, right?
No. I had which one? I forget which one it was. I was throwing out. I was going through cleaning. I was throwing out some poop, and got to the trash can, turned around. There she was, both hands and the head half in the tub. Like, oh my God, no. At least, thank goodness it's not like it's the carpets.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we have a few snakes that could fix her of that habit pretty quickly.
The one I got from Danny, the GHI Mojave Hypo, the GHI Mojave Chocolate Hypo, that one struck one time at her. And she has not forgotten what that snake looks like at all. Yeah. When I get to that tub, she goes to the other side of the room and stand there and wait. I'll ask her, it's like, all the other snakes she wants to touch and pet. I'll pull it out. I was like, do you want to touch this one? She goes, nope.
Yeah.
She won't come anywhere near because it struck that one time at her. And she's like, nope, I'm had enough of that.
Yeah, I had my niece here one time, and I was like, but the Boas are a little bit more temperamental, And I thought she was like maybe 6 years old or something. And I was like, oh, it should be all right. And then she just started opening stuff and like reaching in. I'm like, no, like you can't just reach in like that. Like, yeah. And she'd like open a tub and lead with her face. And I'm just like, oh God, all right. Try this when she's a little older.
That's no bueno.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the stuff with the Boas, because Boas seem like they're kind of on key.
Yeah.
Food aggressive for sure.
Yeah. They're
oriented. They always want a meal for sure. Like you don't want to just open up a tub or a cage and just reach right in. But once you turn off their food response, they're good. But similar to like working with like a berm or something like that, but not quite on that level. And they're not as big either, but they can still do some damage if you get a food response bite or something. So you do got to be careful.
Yeah.
See, my buddy Mike told me about. He had one latch onto his hand, and out of reflex, he yanked his hand back, and he said he ended up. He went to the hospital, I do believe.
Yeah.
He had teeth all in his freaking. Like it did a number on his hand, from what he told me. I didn't get to see it personally. Yeah. But he said it was a big learning experience.
We've both been bit, but the defensive bites aren't generally that big of a deal. It's more like where you get bit with that, like if you got bit in the face or your fingers, because they do, like the full-blown adults have big teeth and they're decent size. But a food response, I luckily haven't had one of them with a boa. I don't plan on having one, but I don't imagine it would be a pleasant experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to have a food response with anything. I don't care how big it is, even if it's one of the balls. I don't want a food response.
His worst fight was a food response from a ball.
Yeah, it actually was.
What happened? It wedged. It bit right into his knuckle joint.
Yeah.
Oh,
nasty. It was like 9 o'clock. I was just coming up to feed before I went to bed. I was like half asleep. And it was like, during when I was working, I go to bed early, and so I opened up this tub, and this thing just launched out of the tub, and I was like, what? And by the time I realized it launched again and just hit my hand in this perfect way, where its tooth went right into my knuckle joint, and the other one hit the other part of my knuckle, and it just bit and wrapped me. And then it was walking its teeth up my hand. So then I'm holding it. Then I'm having a hard time getting out of the room because the door's closed. I can't open the doorknob. And then the way it hit my hand too, its mouth was so spread open. I ran its mouth underwater, and it released, but it couldn't release because its teeth were still in there, and its mouth was so wide it couldn't open its mouth to get its own teeth out. So then I had to pull its teeth out. Yeah, it was totally unexpected and
not a pleasant experience for either involved.
Yeah. And I think because I mostly work with boas, I wasn't even really worried about a ball python. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was. She was laughing at me about it, but
I mean, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Ashley, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. We've also got Mark. What's going on, dude? Will, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. We got to thank the sponsor of this week's live stream, everybody. So let's take a minute and do that.
And this episode is sponsored by B&S Reptilia. B&S Reptilia, folks, let me tell you, is a one-stop shop for basically whatever you may need. If you're looking for ball pythons, Chris has it. He's working in so many different projects, and he's got amazing quality animals. He's also got blood pythons, gorgeous, gorgeous blood pythons. He's also working with different types of colubers, like Mexican black king snakes, bull snakes, pine snakes even. He's working a couple different boa projects, Australian species even, like Woma pythons and scrub pythons. He's got it all, folks. B&S Reptilia is one place you want to go to if you need a snake. And on top of it, he also supplies Eastern PA with different types of rodents like rats, ASFs. He's got it all. If you need Coco, he is Pennsylvania's distributor of Coco to Go and the Chipper. So definitely do not miss out on what I consider by far the best cocoa substrate on the market. Chris sells it. Go to him. He is our distributor. And make sure you tell him Jeremy sent you from Morphles Morphs, because you might just get a little bit of a surprise if you tell him that. Thank you, Chris, for sponsoring this episode. I greatly appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, bro. Let's see. We had a couple more people hop in here. Ledco, what's going on? Mitzi, good to see you, girl. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so how big's your collection boa-wise and ball python-wise? Because I know I got to see a decent size of what you guys have for sale at Oaks, which my mind was blown with how nice the stuff you've got. So how big's your collection size boa-wise, ball python-wise? How many hatchlings did you produce this season?
So we yeah.
I think we have about 50 boas and balls together, adults.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, not quite adult. That's presently breeding and grow outs, probably 50 total. I would say I think we have 17 ball python females.
Okay.
3 or 4 males, with plans to get more. And then boa wise, yeah, I'm not even sure. It's because we have more holdbacks from this year, and yeah, we have we're doing 9 pairings with boas this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're way further along in boas. Ball pythons we've more recently gotten into, but yeah, our main focus is boas for the most part. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now,
a few corn snakes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, and a few corn snakes here and there as well. But
did I see corn snakes at the sale? Did you have corn snakes there? No, you did.
Yeah.
I remember you sold one. That was the first snake you sold that day.
We only sold corn snakes. We sold 4 snakes and nothing else.
Okay, well, I almost bought a ball python from you, if that counts for anything. I talked myself out of it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, they're more. She had pet corn snakes growing up, and so every once in a while, her pet ones will give her clutches, and you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
It's not like it's not like something we did as a focus or anything like that.
Yeah, the female that produced those ones at the show is probably about 13, 14 years old. She's an old girl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, it's they're. I have to make them give me eggs sometimes just so they earn their keep.
I was gonna say you got to make them work for what they got a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning to add anything more species wise to the collection, or are you just gonna stick with what you got right now?
No, we're gonna stick with boas and ball pythons pretty much exclusively.
Okay.
Yeah, we were primarily boas to start out, and then but we do like ball pythons, and we did start getting them probably a year and a half ago. So we're a lot aside from pets that we've had over the years.
Yeah, a handful of all the ball pythons we're breeding this year. The females, at least, are primarily pets that have graduated to become breeders.
Yeah.
They are the chosen.
15 years old, and it's all of our good stuff is still growing up.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Speaking of corn snakes, Nate's got scaleless corn snakes, which were the first scaleless snake I've actually touched. They feel weird. They're kind of cool, though. But Danny got bit by one and screamed like a little girl. I missed it, but I walked in right as like the aftermath was happening, and it was absolutely hilarious to watch everybody like basically in tears. Apparently, Danny got bit by a corn snake and like screamed.
That's funny. Was it a baby corn snake or?
Oh no, it was a baby. It was this tiny noodle thing. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
You'll have to ask Nate or Chris. Like it was rather a memorable moment there when that happened.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Dude, our baby
what's up?
snakes are easily the most aggressive snakes in the collection.
Yeah, but they can't even break. They can't even break the skin, so it's just kind of hilarious.
I know. I caught a wild one a couple of years ago, and the guy I was working with ran away from me like a big baby. I'm like, dude, it's like it was literally like 6 inches long. Like it was a baby, and he goes, "It's gonna bite you." I was like, who cares if this little thing bites? It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I like when people keep reassuring me that they're not afraid of snakes. That's usually like an indication that they are afraid of snakes. No, I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid. I mean, I don't want to touch it, but I'm not afraid of them.
No, you are. Yeah, you just don't want to admit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate says you're slowly coming to the dark side. Let's see here. Phil, if you weren't tuning in before, dude, we were talking about you that you need to get a date set up for us for Shady Maple. Just saying. What's up, PCF? Oh my God, Jeremy is the new bus driver. What am I driving a bus for? Just okay, yeah. I slightly did. I love Danny. Anyway, what genes are you working? We'll cover ball pythons, and then we're gonna focus more on boas here shortly. But what genes are you working with the ball pythons, like recessive wise, incomplete dominant wise? Which ones are you really excited about that you're working with?
So this might blow your mind, but Pied's a big one. Clown's a big one.
Mind is blown.
Wow. I never would have thought. Yeah. So yeah.
Now there is one though that you guys have that I'm so proud of you for.
Oh, and
Xanthic.
CSK Xanthic.
Yep.
Yes.
That was the first project, actually, TSK
Yeah.
Xanthic, and the goal was to try and make freeway stuff with it. Of course, we still don't have an asphalt mill, so that doesn't help.
Yeah. But somebody beat us to it, and it does actually look awesome too.
Yeah.
So.
It does. It was on one of the picks of the week. That thing was just awesome.
Yeah.
It made me like. It made me more anxious to have this mail that I got from Nathan prove out, because if he is, then we're gonna get that stuff into the works here very shortly as well.
Yeah. Our girl wound up proving out. We got a pastel yellow belly Xanthic 66 heck clown from JD Constriction, I guess 3 years ago, and
nice.
She actually proved out heck clown this year, so that was awesome. That's a big,
that's a nice little surprise.
Big difference, yeah.
The downside is we paired her to an asphalt or yellow belly het clown male that did not prove out for us to be asphalt. So
so we're back to square one with that.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of the roll of the dice. I'm hoping I get the test results back before the girl that Enchi asphalt yellow belly's going to. Actually goes, so that way if I need to change gears on that one, I still have time to hopefully have another male steal the clutch.
Yeah. We also we're pretty big into pied. Specifically, we're going for like super orange dream hypo pied stuff.
Ooh, okay.
Enchi and leopard mixed in, so that's like a project we got into last year. We have like 5 females and a nice he's a orange dream Enchi pastel pied het hypo male that we got to go to them too. So we're real excited about that. We should start doing that next year. Or there is one female from she's around 18 months and she's like a little over 1,000 grams. So maybe a late clutch this year, we're hoping, but if not, I think most of that stuff should be ready next year.
Yeah. And then our clown stuff is kind of all over the place. We actually just picked up a black pastel clown from Danny.
Which that thing's really nice looking.
Yeah.
That sucker's really nice looking. I like that one.
We got a high intensity orange dream yellow belly firefly leopard het clown.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now is that male or female?
It's female, yeah.
Darn it. I was gonna say, if you need something for that to go to, if it's male, I might have something next season for it.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're pretty much for our clown stuff, we just finished basically picking up our females, and then next year we're gonna be grabbing a nice male or 2 at this point, since we got more females than we anticipated. I'm sure we're the first snake breeders to get more snakes than we planned on, but
we have a firefly Enchi clown from Chris.
Yeah, from BNS.
Yeah.
That thing's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just some random stuff. Disco clown. Another one from Danny. What's she? A fire leopard clown?
Fire leopard clown. Yeah. So yeah, we're debating on what type of male to get for all that stuff next year.
We definitely need an asphalt clown or asphalt het clown.
Yeah.
But we want to get another clown male that's going to be a little bit more, powerful, that ties into some of the other genes as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the big mistakes everybody makes, is like they jump into it without fully thinking it through. You guys are taking your time with it, and you're like, you know what you're doing. You've got the system down, and you've got the females that you want. Now it's like, all right, what males can we get that will work with that group of females and that group of females? Like, I dropped the ball on that one. I'm kind of trying to fix those mistakes as we speak.
Yeah.
Well, we did it like that with ball pythons, but not with our boas. So
But you started the boas before the balls, though. So
yeah. So we had that learning curve during the boas, but then also coming from boas to balls, there's kind of like, there was another learning curve too, where, you know, if you want to get into a project with Boas, you just get one female.
Yeah.
You buy a pair, you know, or maybe 2 males and a female, but you know, you don't really get pairs as much with ball pythons, or you know what I mean? Like you want to get as much value out of the male as possible, so you get multiple females and stuff like that. Where, you know, but a big boa female will drop. We have a girl, she dropped 27 babies, you know, not last year, but the year before. So yeah.
Boas will fill up your hatchling racks very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be facing that problem. We have never done 9 pairings before with boas, so I mean, who knows our success rate? I think the most we've done before is like 3 boas at a time.
Okay.
4 maybe?
No, I think we
4.
paired 6 last year.
Yeah, but we only got 4. So
Yeah, we got 4. Yeah.
you know, depending on what our success rate is like, you know, we're probably gonna have a much bigger year than we're used to.
Yeah.
Right?
I know last year Mike paired, I forget how many pairings. We did a video on it. I forget how many pairings we went through, and that's a lot. One went, but it only gave him. She basically slugged out. She gave him 3 babies. I forget how many slugs she threw.
Yeah.
But then 2 of the babies died, and he was left with 1, which is currently on my morph market still.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. Like I really thought that thing would have flew off the shelf because it's actually a pretty powerful snake, and it's a female. So I would have thought it would have went pretty quick, but it's still there.
Slow year for boas.
Yeah. Boas are and boas will drive you nuts breeding. It's you really got to be diligent and pay attention, and even if you do everything right, you can end up with that, like you're saying. And last year we had, I think, 3 litters or 4 litters.
Who did we have? The Argentine, the hypo. We had the leopard bitch.
Yeah.
Did we have anyone else?
Little lady.
Little lady.
Yeah, so we had 4 last year, but then 2 of them were half slug outs, or one of them was half slugs, and then the other one,
2 were half slugs.
Yeah, 2 were half slugs, and one the heat in the cage wound up going down, and I didn't catch it for like a week, and so then we wound up getting a bunch of stillborns on that one.
Kinked babies.
Kinked babies and stillborn. Yeah, it was a shame, but we did wind up getting, I think, 5 babies made it out of that litter. 1 red dragon, 1 bloodhead albino, or actually sun dragon, hypo bloodhead albino, and 2 sunglows. But the sunglows, they sold. One was a paradox. They sold really quick when we put them up. So I think within a week we sold both of them. But
I know the sun dragons. They're one boa that they just glow. Every time I go over to Mike's, I always love looking at that sun dragon he produced.
Yeah, and when you see, like, when they give birth and you like just see them in there, they're just crazy. It's just like this neon red thing in a pile of boas. You know, it's crazy. Yeah,
they stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, we crushed the odds on getting sun dragons, but one was a stillborn, 1 died shortly after, and the other one's going strong. She's healthy and growing up a storm. So she's a hold back, obviously.
Yeah.
How big is she now? Like, how big and how old is she?
She's not that big.
The sun dragon?
Yeah.
Or the girl that gave birth?
No, the sun dragon.
She's I think April is when that litter was born.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're growing her up.
Nate says he's going to need a male for sun glow. And that you need to get to work.
Well, we should have some sun glow and IMG sun glow type stuff. We have a girl that's gravid right now with that, who's probably going to give us like 30 babies. So, and that was she's a jungle pastel dream head albino, and we paired a IMG hypo head albino to her. So yeah, we should get like IMG sunglows and all sorts of stuff like that. Jungle mixed in there.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be our third time on that pairing, and it always has really nice results.
Yeah.
It's actually the IMG Hypos lipstick line from Tom Burke, and then the female the Pastel Dream, and the babies are just really colorful.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've got a number of old backs from them, some unintentional.
Yeah. Too many, really. That we're like, all right, we don't even have anything to put this to.
Now, while we're on Boas, what jeans are you working with the Boa stuff?
We've got a lot. We have a lot of call stuff. So call albino mixed with blood, call albino mixed with leopard. And we're trying to put IMG into that either next year or the year after. Or we have IMG in that, but IMG into call leopard stuff. We have a lot of IMG call albino stuff. And then as far as some of the other projects, we have a IMG Motley Het Spectre, which is VPI, not carbon, RDR.
RDR line antithroistic.
Yeah, we have a lot of VPI stuff, and we have a lot of VPI stuff in some different projects. So we have VPI Key West in not a ton of people seem to have seen the Super Key West VPS, but they're amazing. They're really, really cool. So we're working that project. We also have Habanero stuff, which is VPI Leopard.
Okay.
VPI Hypo Leopard.
Yeah, VPI Hypo Leopard. So we have a number of snakes in that project.
We actually have some paired right now who she's probably around 20, 25 millimeters right now paired with a male. And she's a
nice.
66 double het, but leopard's actually, you can kind of pick, leopard's really more incomplete dominant, a lot of people think. You can kind of pick the hets out. So we're really just thinking it's a 66 VPI, but if we get that, we could actually make some habaneros this year. So
what else? We have Labyrinths. We have our big Labyrinth girl is Hypo Key West Labyrinth, and then we have a male and female younger Labyrinths that are both double het for VPI and Type 1 Anery. So
het VPI snow,
yeah. So we got a lot of VPI snow stuff too. Mm-hmm. So a lot of VPI with different lines of Anery and with the RDR and the Type 1 and with Leopard. So
and then we also have two Anerys. Well, one's a ghost that are Anery 100% double head habanero, and I believe they call that Glacier.
I think he's calling the non-hypo version Glacier.
Glacier, yeah. So those haven't even been made yet, but we bought a good amount of head stuff too for like making some pretty cutting edge stuff with Boas. In Boas, there's a lot of obvious directions that haven't been done, like in ball pythons. Like it's kind of I feel like a younger, less mature market. So like, you can find a niche and be like, oh, no one's even done these two recessives together, or you know what I mean. So we went up picking that stuff up from Imperial Morphs in Germany, and having the Anery double hets, helps the odds out a lot instead of doing triple het to triple het. So we're excited about them, but those are a few years out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girls take so long to raise up.
Yeah.
That's the big downfall, I think, with Boas, is that they take so long. But then it's the same thing with carpets, though, too. It's like you're looking at 4 years for a female until she can even give you anything.
Yeah.
Well, the good news about that is it really helps you if you do stick it out. A lot of people don't stick it out, so there's less competition.
Oh, okay.
It seems like there's fewer people pursuing some of the projects just because it does take so long. With ball pythons, you can pretty easily be competing in ball pythons in your bedroom with a handful of snakes. Boas, if you just have a few boas as pets and you haven't really done a ton of research and you're not really paying close attention to the breedings and you don't necessarily stick it out, there's a good chance they're not going to be necessarily competing against you. So just different markets. So, harder, takes a long time, but there's, I think, a little bit more barrier to entry. So if you actually make it to that point, it seems like a pretty good place to be.
That space is a barrier to entry.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's like Tetris in this room trying to fit cages and stuff like that,
That I believe, because with Mike's snake room, he built one roughly about the same size as mine, and he ended up having to build another one. Basically, he's got his females in one room, and the males and hatchlings are in another room.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, it's like Tetris. I mean, they take up a lot of rack space.
Unfortunately, in the bedroom that I'm in, I don't, I have an old house. I would love to just stuff this room full of freedom breeders, like the real big tubs, but I'm concerned about the weight in this room because those racks are hundreds of pounds, So, and I have my house is old. It's from 1910 or something like that. So I'd be
probably built better than anything that's built now.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about putting 6,000 pounds of racks in this bedroom.
Yeah, that's true too.
Mm-hmm.
Chris wants to know, what are the genetics in the boa Danny got from you?
Oh, that was a hypo IMG, 100% het leopard, and 50% Kyle albino.
Nice. It was a beautiful snake.
Yeah, that was leopard's a very dark gene in general, but it's also a gene that has red underlying behind its darkness. So if you throw hypo into it, it strips away the black and you get a really red snake. But then also when you do IMG to leopard, because it's so dark, you get extremely dark animals.
Yeah.
Even just the hets that we've made, just IMG het leopards that we made this year, are the darkest IMGs we've produced by far. They're only 5 months old and they're pitch black already. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're getting dark fast. And they're both very shiny genes. They both have a huge amount of iridescence. So leopard and IMG together, I wouldn't be surprised if they get, even the hets are starting to show a lot of that shine. So I think the older they get, they'll be pretty crazy iridescent.
Yeah. And that's
IMG is awesome. I love IMG stuff.
Yeah,
it's such a cool gene.
It really is. And there's so much you can do with it, and it just goes into almost everything. Even albinos, you would think, how does something that gets darker going to enhance an albino? And then it's you put it into a snow, it makes it get more white. You know what I mean? You put it into a sun glow, it intensifies the red. It's just, it's crazy. It can just go in anything.
So do you want to show off any of the boas?
Nah, not really.
Okay, I was going to say, if nighttime's a no-go in with the stuff or not.
Yeah, we can. I might. We got a little camera set up, so I might switch on to that camera.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, we can run both cameras.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just go ahead and add that camera into the chat here, and I'll put it in. I'll put us off to the side. We'll blow the other camera up. Chris said he knew IMG was in it.
Maybe a smarter person could do that. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Try quick settings, maybe. In the meantime, everyone can just see our pretty faces up close.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric? Good to see you, dude. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got the other camera. All right. I'll blow yous up.
Wait, more cameras maybe?
No, it says mirror my camera.
Oh, I thought it said more. Never mind.
All right.
That'll work.
That'll work.
So who do we want to show off?
I don't know how to tell you how to do it in all honesty.
Too much. Is
it a camera or is it a phone that you're on for this?
This is a camera, yeah. We'll show
Okay.
we'll show some babies first.
This is a holdback sibling of the one that Danny got.
Oh.
So super dark. This is
Yeah.
exact same thing, just without hypo.
Okay.
We're super excited about him. Of course, there's a ton of glare, I think, just because of the light and the focus.
His sides are so stinking dark. Holy crap.
Yeah, so he's pretty crazy. And then
I wish all pythons had something like that, where you get like the IMG stuff. I really do.
nothing quite like them in ball pythons. It would be crazy if there was a true IMG type animal in ball pythons. It would probably be the biggest hit.
Yeah. No, I totally agree because IMG and the Boas, I think there's so like I think everybody's working with it.
Oh yeah, and it's been out for like I think over 10 years, and they still fetch a decent price just because it's just such a crazy gene. Everybody wants it, you know.
And then
Yeah.
these are both hypo. Hypo IMG het leopards, and the one is crazy dark, and the other one you can kind of see that insane red that some of the het leopards and leopard stuff get. So
That tail stripe was nice.
yeah, he is. This guy is our holdback as well. So he's hypo, which you'd never believe it looking at him now.
He's super dark for a hypo. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's just how powerful the IMG and the leopard are together. And then this girl she's not quite as dark, but the amount of red just blows me away. Of course, boas don't want to sit still.
That's why they're fun. Boas are a snake that's fun because they do move.
They do. They move a lot. They move almost a little too much. So, yeah, if we had produced more males from that litter, we probably would have kept more males. But we did not.
Oh, okay.
What else do I want to show off?
Did you do the red dragon yet? Or
No.
sun dragon?
No, I did not.
Kenton, what's up, dude? And all to his glory. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Everybody, do me a favor. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up for me, please. All the support's appreciated. Definitely hit that thumbs up, please.
It's like the camera is washing out her color, but she's...
Yeah, I was going to say, I know what that thing should look like, and the camera's like making it pale looking.
Yeah, I think it was just a
yeah,
little
I
too
think
much
there's
light.
too much light. It's just...
Take that color, everybody, and make it a lot more orange.
We could try the other camera has better light.
We can
Makes
take a
the
look.
color better.
We need to switch back for the big ones anyway.
Yeah, true. The big girls. Oh, shoot, we never...
Where are you going?
No. Does that show it a little better? Maybe.
A little bit, not much though.
Yeah, her sides
Still
are
pretty
pretty
looking.
intensely red.
Yeah.
But yeah, the camera doesn't want to pick her colors up very well. Of course, she doesn't want to sit still either.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are some we produced this year.
Go on. Yeah, she doesn't want to go anywhere. Take a gamble at how the board looks. How's he looking?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So that's a hypo blood head albino. He could be super as well. We're not sure. We'll have to, but we'll breed him, so we'll know eventually.
No, that's just basically something there where it's a sun dragon maker, essentially, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird. It almost has him looking gray.
Yeah. Yeah, it's washing out his color a little bit, but he's actually like a really deep red.
Yeah, almost like a burgundy. Now, what colors can you see with your color blindness?
I can, well, all right, this is where it gets tricky. I can see normal colors. It's just some colors start to look like other colors, like dark purple, like dark blues, dark greens look black. Sometimes it's just like a shade thing to an extent. Like I can't see a bright hot pink on tan, like dry dirt. Like it doesn't show up. On dry stone, I can't see it normally either. So it's, I don't know. It's hard to describe what I can and can't see. I just know the colorblind glasses that Ray got me, which Ray, thank you again for those. When I put them on, they screw with my eyes more than anything else, sadly.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
So that's washing her out too. She's actually got a lot more red in there. But that's a sun clips. That's a sun clips Boa. So she is leopard, albino, motley, and hypo, all mixed together.
That is beautiful, dude.
She doesn't.
I love that dorsal stripe.
Yeah, that's when you put motley and leopard together, it creates that stripe generally, just even in the het form.
Okay.
Yeah, she's. It's
That's
almost
beautiful.
full body stripe. But yeah, she is again much more intensely red than it shows up, unfortunately. Taking pictures of albinos and reds is the biggest nightmare for us.
I feel your pain when I try to take pictures of my Xanthic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like
It never looks good in pictures. It's just bottom line.
No.
It never looks good.
it's like the camera needs a different color in the picture to have a frame of reference.
Yep.
So this girl, let's see if she'll.
That's a Orange Gasm VPI Sunglow Jungle, aka White Walker from Frank Martin.
Yeah, and she is what, about 2 years?
Yeah, she's 2 years old, I guess, in like a week. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
She has the coolest eyes, though. Let's see if she wants to show off her eyes.
They're like blue.
They're like.
Am I seeing that right? Kind of like a bluey.
Like a pale blue or white.
Yeah.
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 Making the face.
In the face. Yeah, that would be great for the live, wouldn't it?
It's feeding night, so.
Yeah, that too.
You know.
Feeding night, and she's throwing their faces in my face.
We can show off a normal labyrinth and then our Hypo Key West labyrinth.
Want to go to the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. It's hard to.
Well, she's not as bright, so I don't think it'll be as bad.
Oh, look
So
at
this
that.
is Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's a labyrinth het snow.
And the cool thing about labyrinths is that it's similar to jungle in the way they look, but it also is sort of a hypo, and it reduces black pretty significantly. And of course, she's grabbing the camera cord.
Yeah. It actually makes a blue-eyed leucistic as well.
Yeah.
In the super.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this guy, you can even see it's a little hard to see, but they have sort of blue eyes already, and even in
it's not.
the single form. But yeah, this guy's pretty cool. He's fully striped. We have a female that's not quite fully striped, but is still, pretty crazy pattern. So, and then this guy is double het for
Snow, VPI Snow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he'll probably get paired to that other female we had out with the sort of blue eyes when they are both ready.
Yeah.
Chris wants to know if Labyrinth and Fire are compatible.
No, but they do make an amazing looking snake when combined. So it's like a really, really cleaned up, nice looking snake. But yeah, they're not compatible though. No. I should say that they don't make a leucistic together.
Okay.
I guess I can't really say for sure if they're compatible or not, because I don't think anyone's ever done a Labyrinth Fire times a Labyrinth Fire yet. I don't think that pairing's actually been done.
I gotta take this down to get the snake and send.
Why don't you do Labyrinth Key West? Yeah.
Now, how old do the male boas have to be before you can breed them? Can they be like 1-2 years somewhere in there, or
they can breed at 18 months? But it's the exception, not the rule. And then you also tend to get more, a higher rate of slugs and stuff like that. So at this point, we're trying to shoot for 2.5 for all our males, just because with reasonable feeding, in 2.5 years, they can get plenty of size to do it. Getting them there at 1.5 years is tough. Like you got to be feeding them pretty hard, and it's just, which we don't really like to do too much.
I get you on that.
And it's not really good for them. Like sometimes you get just a freak of nature one that will just grow, like anytime you feed it, and like we have bred them at 18 months, but most of the males we've ever tried at 18 months don't really go. But, at 2.5, we have a lot better success.
Okay.
And then females, 3.5 to 4.5 is generally when we go with them. And we don't weigh them or anything. It's generally just like
the years. It's more of an age thing with boas as opposed to balls.
Yeah, it's age. It's also size, but it's kind of like you just look at them and you're like, yeah, I think that can go. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain.
She's fired up tonight.
Good grief, that thing's big.
I kill myself on that cord.
So this is that's pretty good.
You scooch over. So yeah, this is our Key West Hypo Labyrinth. And of course, it's going to mute her colors too, because she is like a cotton candy pink almost.
I was going to say, she's got very unique colors to her.
I've never seen this look quite like her. So she's paired up with a male right now who is on his way out of the cage. Let me go shove his face back. But
he's chasing her.
Hey, you took my girlfriend away.
Get back in there. Get back.
You got it?
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. She's early on in the process, so we have a few others that we'd like to show off, but they're in the thick of it, so we don't want to disturb them.
All right, she wants to go back, so I'm gonna let her go back.
But,
now, are all of your adults, do you keep them in PVCs, or do you have some in like a rack system, or is everything just basically PVC for the adults?
Pretty much PVC cages for the adults. But we do have some like dwarf type boas. Like we have a pure leopard Sonoran female, and she's in a freedom breeder rack, like the bigger tubs. We would like to get her into a cage this year, but but we're actually breeding her in the Freedom breeder that's behind us. They're considerably smaller, those snakes.
Yeah. The Argentine.
I think I know the leopard ones that you're talking about because Mike has a pair of them.
Yeah,
and like you said, they're smaller, but they're kind of on the dark side too, with a really unique pattern.
Yeah, leopards are real dark, but yeah, the Sonoran boas in general are very dark as well. But yeah, Sonoran desert boas, technically, I believe they're actually a different species. They're Boa sigma, not Boa and Vero.
Okay.
And they just don't get as big. They actually remind me of carpet pythons a lot. They have more of a slender build. They max out at a smaller size. And they're a lot more wiry than a normal boa. Like most of your Colombians and our Argentine boas and stuff, once they get to a certain size, they're pretty chill. Not the dwarf boas. They don't bite or anything, but they're just very flighty.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like a carpet python, honestly.
And speaking of Argentines,
yeah, this is our big Argentine girl.
That's our breeder female.
And
she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's het for T positive as well. And she is just about the coolest snake. I think if I could only have one snake, it would be this girl. Argentines just have a different kind of temperament. They're almost, it sounds crazy, but they're almost smarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're pretty inquisitive. Like they're not as reactionary as like the Colombians and stuff like that. Like they love to hiss and go crazy, but once they calm down, they're actually really cool to interact with. But they do have a very strong food response, so you definitely got to watch with them.
Yeah. It's like a Burmese python food response almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, there's a guy, Dave Guerrera has, not Dave, Bob Guerrera has the Max Pink line of these, and they have like rusty pink blotches all the way down, and he's line bred them for like 20 years.
Yeah.
They're absolutely gorgeous. And then there's the T positives, and this is the classic black and white.
Yeah.
But then, but Bob Guerrera actually works with Burmese pythons too, or used to, and he actually says he thinks the Argentine's food response is actually stronger than the Burms.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And then we'll show off the T positive version.
Yeah, we could show a T positive real quick.
I'm always just impressed with the sizes of boas. I guess I've just gotten so used to the size of the ball pythons and the carpets that when you see like boas and retics, it's just like holy crap.
Yeah, they're big. They're awesome because they're big enough to be intimidating a little bit, and they're big enough to be really impressive, but not so big that they're really dangerous in the same way that some of the real big snakes are. So this is actually her son, and he's the T positive version. So Argentines have their own T positive, pure Argentine. So they're just pretty crazy.
Yeah, there is a motley too, but we don't actually work with the motley. We're not huge fans of motley in general, honestly.
We do have a few motley boas in here, but mostly for our leopard projects.
Chris says Argentines are dreamy.
They
Nate
are.
says that girl that Haley has is clearly not missing any meals.
No.
She's actually a little smaller than usual. We decided to give her the year off. Yeah, because she's given us what, 2 litters in a row now?
3
Or 3. Yeah, she's
litters
given us
in a
3
row.
litters. 3 litters, so she's getting a year off now. And
now is that kind of like your standard after like 2 or 3 litters they get a year off, or
it's really, we just look at the female and it's just whether or not it could be 1 litter, it could be 2. She just, for 3 years in a row, she was fine. She would actually give birth and then gain size.
okay.
So, and then finally this year, she put her weight back on, but it took her a long time, and she just didn't really seem it to recover as well. So we decided to give her the year off. You know,
Okay, gotcha.
it's more of a case by case basis.
Yeah, the Argentines are they're pretty different than some of the other boas, just in their temperament. They're definitely a little bit more just a little more inquisitive, a little bit more quick to they like to come out and explore. It seems trying to put this girl back is going to be a little bit of a challenge because she's not going to go back. She's wrapped around my arms and she's
good luck with that.
yeah, thanks.
Well, while Haley does that, let's go through here and do picks of the week real quick. Because I've actually got 6 picks, and some of these are basically like I had one from like the other week. Like the past 2 shows, I don't think I've had picks of the week just because of everything that was going on. But this week it's kind of playing catch up. So we've got like 6 picks. So we'll go through these real quick. Let's see here. All right, pick number 1.
Whoa.
Is this beauty from Jeremy Baud at Baud's Exotic Reptiles, which anybody that watches the chat or sees Jeremy in the chats, Jeremy number 3. No, Jeremy number 2. Jeremy number 2. And that's a Coca Mojave Yellow Belly. I just love the darks and the intensity of the yellows in that.
Yeah, it's got a lot of contrast.
Yeah. Contrast really catches my eye. Tammy, what's going on? Jamie, thanks for tuning in. All right, let's see here. Next up, we've got this beauty. Now, what's picks of the week without a carpet python or 2? This is a diamond jungle jag, and words can't describe. Like, that's just stunning. I'm sorry. That's probably carpets. I think are probably one of the most beautiful snakes out there. I'm sorry, everybody.
They're gorgeous. I did used to have carpets actually. That Chris pointed that out earlier. The jungle girl that he has, he actually got from me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had a line bred jungle female from Mike Curtin, and then I had a zebra jungle male from what's his name, Nick Mutton.
Okay.
But as I raised carpet pythons, I kind of realized they weren't for me, and that's how Chris wound up with that female.
She's beautiful. Every time I go over there, I always enjoy taking a look at her.
Yeah. I basically, I'm not as much of a fan of like the carpet python temperament. And when I was growing her up, she would bite me every time I came near her. And then, Chris had her, and then she's like, I don't think she's ever even tried to strike at him. It's like,
I said, she seems very, very mellow every time I've been over there.
Yeah, I'm kind of taking it personal. Like,
hey, dude, it took me 3 years to get Xena to where she didn't want to kill me. It 3 years and wearing gloves just to get her to calm her little rear end down.
Yeah.
This one is from Russell DeBritz. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too badly, but beautiful, beautiful carpet.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's
all right.
I'd still like to get a pair of Brettles at some point.
Dude, Brettles are awesome looking.
Yeah, I like the stone washed, and I like the hypos and stuff like that. They're really nice. But
here's one that's jaw dropping. This thing
crazy.
This is from Love Freeman BP or Freeman BBP. This is a black pastel banana pinstripe.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's all that is? I can't believe that. That's nuts.
Yep. Like that Sun Dragon orange stripe going down the back is just nuts.
Yeah.
I told you Pinstripe's a good one to be in.
Yeah, she's been trying to convince me that Pinstripe's taken off a bit, and I think she's right.
I said, there you go. You've got a gold snake to go for. You've got part of the ingredients, and you can make a heck clown with it because you've got that clown.
Yeah, we do.
But
Yeah,
that thing's freaking stunning. Let's see here. Oop, clicking the wrong things. Hold on, I gotta remove here a couple of these real quick.
We're going to complain about looking at that snake again.
Let's see. Here's the next one. This is from GS Reptiles. This is a zebra diamond jungle jag. So you guys saw what the diamond jungle jag normally looks like. This is the zebra version, which is just like it's another form of it's like a jungle morph.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see how that just makes that pattern just go all sorts of freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thing's nuts.
And it's ready, and it's not even colored up yet because I'm pretty sure he hatched this one out. And I think he has it for sale on his morph market. So maybe go check it out. I'm sure it's probably gone already, but hey, you never know.
Yeah. Carpets take a while to get their like true colors.
Yeah.
Boas can be like that too on certain ones.
The thing, like, I'm anxious. I'm gonna have to pick some people's brains once I actually get a clutch from Xena here, just because I don't know what to look for when deciding what I'm gonna hold back with them. Because apparently there's some people that like know exactly what they're looking at as far as what to hold back with carpets. So yeah. I've got to learn. I've got to get that eye.
I know quite a few carpet guys, like they hold on to them for like a year.
And
let them color up and then pick which ones they want to sell and stuff.
Yeah. Bob Guerrero does that with the Max Pink Argentine Boas too. He'll sit on them for like a year or sometimes 2.
Yeah, I think he gives like 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is from Balls of Fury ball pythons. This is a Confusion Leopard Lavender Albino. That's just nuts. I love the striping on that.
Yeah. Reminds me
very
of
clean too. I would have expected it with having Confusion. It would have been a lot
busier. Yeah.
Busier, wonkier, just kind of insane.
Looks like a labyrinth.
Very organized.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like it looks like a labyrinth albino Burmese or something.
Yeah. But very beautiful, very beautiful. And I think we've got, let's see, where are we at on our picks here? We've got one more. And I forget what, I think this one's another. Oh, wait, no, this isn't one. All right, this is the last one, though. This thing's awesome looking, too. And this is an Enchi Pastel OD Amur DG.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm not exact. I know I've heard of a Amur, or however you say it, but I've never really looked into it. But that's a stunning looking freaking snake.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely gorgeous. So, and that's from Tom DeLepper Reptiles. But very, very awesome snake. I'd be curious to see that thing actually like grown up in a year or two. See what it actually looks like after.
Especially with Desert Ghost, because it's going to brighten up.
Yeah. And that thing's already looks like it's glowing like crazy. But that is my picks of the week. Death, what's up, bro? All right, everybody. Okay. Just a little ha-ha thing. Eric Shields is my Call of Duty gaming buddy. His screen name call sign is Death. So I just call him Death. Like, I don't ever call him Eric ever. It's always just Death. So, Death, what's up, bro? Thanks for tuning in. Nathan says Amur is
Krypton. Crichton?
What's Crichton?
I think that might have been is that a
Amur? Okay, Ladka says Amur is cryptic.
Okay.
That
makes sense.
So I might There's been a couple of people that have said that Super Enchi I got from Jeremy Ball, that's the Partho baby.
Mhm.
I think it was actually Chris from BNS had said it, that he's thinking that it might uh, have like cryptic floating in it or something. Or
Yeah.
not, yeah, cryptic, I think is what he had said. Because something about where Jeremy got the mom of that snake, where that came from, they worked a lot of cryptic stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have to prove that out here at some. Chris says totally cryptic, but it's definitely she's a stunner. She's actually in. I don't know if she's out. Did she shed? She was in shed big time. No, she's still all. She's not looking pretty at all right now. She's deep in shed. We're coming out of it, but anyway. Um, so hold on, let me get out of this. What the? Hold on here. There we go. All right. Oh, whoa. Now I gotta flip us. Okay. Explain to me your process with breeding the boas and everything, because it's a boa breeding is a whole lot different than ball python stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Very different.
yeah, it's almost like a year-long process with because they carry the babies for like it's 120 days.
Jeez.
Then that's average from ovulation. So generally, so in the off season, we kind of feed every like 2 to 3 weeks, but we don't use any like rabbits or anything like that. A lot of people will feed like once a month or something like that with boas, but generally they're feeding rabbits or multiple rats at a time. So we never do multiple rats or rabbits. We'll just increase frequency. So, 2 to 3 weeks for like the off season, and then around the beginning of fall, we start hitting them more. This year, since we had the ultrasound, we had the luxury of ultrasounding all of our females in September and seeing who was where, yeah, so we'll let the room get a little warmer in the summer, and then right when fall starts to hit, the temperatures kind of naturally drop in the room. About mid-November, I start doing a night drop of like just 2 degrees, and then I gradually decrease that down to like 70. I go down to like 75 during the night, and then during the day it comes back up to like 78. So that's not a huge temperature drop, but mostly it's feeding. The girls will start to get very, very hungry in the fall, and we'll go from every 3 weeks to once a week. But that's only for a short window, basically like 6, maybe 8 weeks, and they'll really start building follicles during that time. And then once we pair, generally it's we maybe feed every 2-3 weeks, maybe even once a month. That depends on if the female looks hungry, if she's doing anything, like, because sometimes they'll lose interest. And if they have enough size and we're not worried about it, we don't, and the male's showing a lot of interest, we won't really worry about it. But other ones we will feed every 2 weeks or so during the breeding season.
Yep. And then initially when we do introductions, when it looks like a female is starting to build follicles, we'll pair her with a male, leave the male in there for a day or two, usually watch his behavior. If he shows a lot of interest in the female, that'll kick off the breeding season, and we'll probably leave them paired now until she ovulates, just separating to feed. And if the male really doesn't show a whole lot of interest, we'll pull him out. His presence will often kick the female into gear, building follicles harder. So, and then we'll separate, leave them apart for about 3 weeks, reintroduce again, and just repeat that process until he starts to show more and more interest, which usually by the second or third time, introducing, he's showing interest, chasing her around.
Yeah, which generally happens around like 12 to 15 millimeters is when you really start seeing the male show interest, and then they stay in there at that point until she ovulates.
Yep.
With, like we said, except when we feed them.
Okay. See, now I think, Mike, if you're watching, you can correct me on this, but I could swear like around October, November, I think Mike completely stops feeding his girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something that's common for boa breeders to do, or is that kind of like a preference?
Yeah, some people do. We notice it matters greatly on your temperatures.
Okay.
So if you lower temperatures a lot and you turn off hot spots at night, you can not feed them, you know. And generally, like when people do that, they'll feed them hard for a little while and then slow down and then start lowering temperatures. And then once you get to the point of like a low temperature at night and no hot spot at night, that really slows their metabolism. Almost, I wouldn't call it a brumation, but something similar where their appetites really drop, you know.
Yeah.
We always found over the years that when we lowered temps that much, we would always get respiratory infections.
Okay.
Yeah, so not everything, but more than I would like. So at a certain point, I guess a few years ago, I tried leaving the hot spots on so that if they want to, they can warm up. And I stopped getting a lot of respiratory infections. Still had success breeding, but since then we've noticed though during the winter, like I used to not feed my females in the winter. But once we started leaving that hotspot on, we started noticing that you kind of had to, because their metabolism didn't drop in the same way, and we would have more females like reabsorb or just not really ever build. You know what I'm saying? Like because they just didn't have enough. They didn't have enough reserves. You know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, a lot of breeders do stop feeding entirely. But you will find a lot of breeders that do what we do as well, that feed through the winter also.
It depends a lot on your ambient temperatures throughout the year. Like we try to run, for the most part, we keep our room around 82 degrees, which is a lot higher than a lot of people keep. A lot of people keep like 78 degrees, or just lower temperatures in general. And if their metabolism is higher throughout the year, when you're feeding normally, they're not building up as much reserves during the time off, so to speak. So then, you know, if you're then feeding the same amount, it's not enough if your temperatures are higher. So
because I know, like for me, my room here is normally like 78. On the average, like during the spring, summer, fall, it's like 78. Right now, it's actually warm, probably because of the wood stove. But it's at 76. But at nighttime, like the wood stove, of course, dies off because my butt's in bed. But then, like the temps in here drop down to like 72, 73.
Yeah.
And I turned off all the heat now to the carpets at nighttime. So that way they get that nice temperature drop too, as well. Basically, like you're saying with the boas, it kind of helps spark some of that interest into them and gets them into that gear of, hey, let's make some babies.
Yeah.
Because these two, like the male is all over her and like they get all coiled up, but they just don't do anything. I was talking to my buddy Riley and he said, I told him, you know, the exact setup I was doing. He goes, dude, he's like, just turn off the hot spots at night. Like get the under tank heater go at night. He goes, just have everything where you have warm during the day, but have a drastic drop in temp at night. So that way it kind of kicks that response in on them. So it's like, all right, we're gonna give it a shot. So
I
flipped that stuff off last night. I think it was last night.
Yeah, we are in the process now though too of trying to we traditionally always kept like 82 for the most part, except in the breeding season. But this over the last year, we've been trying to gradually lower the temperature. So I would like to have the room generally at 80, because 82 seems a little too warm to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like their appetite's just too much, kind of.
All our boats are huge.
Yeah. So, but we're doing that very gradually because we don't want to go from 82 one year and then just start keeping the room. You know, they're finicky. Like we had 2 females that were paired last year. My humidifier went out for a week, and in that week they were done. They reabsorbed.
Oh wow!
And I was waiting on a humidifier. You know, the supply chain issues. I ordered a humidifier, but it took me. I guess it took like 2 weeks for it to come. But I was still spraying them every day, and just that lack of humidity in the room, they just reabsorbed.
Yep.
And,
That's so weird.
Yeah. So we try not to make any like very drastic changes from year to year because they're so finicky, basically.
Yeah, we're all.
I wonder if that's not what happened to Mike then, because he had last season, or I guess this season technically, it was a complete bust for him.
Oof.
I wonder if it wasn't something where something changed ever so slightly and it threw him right off.
Yeah, I mean that can happen. And we've had, I always thought it couldn't happen, but last year the year before, we had a leopard female ovulate, like full-blown football ovulation, and then reabsorb. I didn't even think that was possible. I did not think that was possible until I saw it with my own eyes. And then I didn't even want to tell anybody because it's like almost like seeing a UFO. Like I was like, and then at the Oak Show, I went to JPC Boas, and he's been breeding boas for years upon years, and he's got a giant collection. He told me at an Oak Show, he told me he had 38 ovulations last year. So
and the season wasn't done yet.
So I figured he's the person to ask. So I was like, I looked over my shoulder to make sure no one was around, and I was like, Joe, can a boa ovulate and then reabsorb? And he's like, oh yeah, totally. Boas will drive you insane. So I felt a little better after that, but yeah, they're very finicky, man. It's
that's freaking weird.
I
would have assumed after they ovulate that it's like you're golden.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, it was strange.
Like the day the litter was due came and went, and then 10 more days came and went. Another 10 days came and went, and we're just like, what the heck is going on?
we thought she was bound
or something. But she was acting normal.
But she was hungry.
Yeah.
And she was eating, and she wanted to eat. She wasn't eating because we thought she was gravid, and she was about to burst any day, so we weren't feeding her. But every time we opened her tub, she wanted food. And then we actually got the ultrasound around that time, and we ultrasounded her, and there was nothing in there. No, not even a follow.
Man, that is so freaking weird.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So weird.
We kind of think it was just we weren't feeding her enough, and she just didn't have the stores to go through with it. So,
and that just boggles my mind. Like I never would have known. Like that just. I get what you're saying, John. It's the UFO thing. It is.
Yeah. For like 3 weeks, I was like going out of my mind trying to figure out what was going on. And then we got the ultrasound because we're like, all right, we're going to get some answers, And then we ultrasounded her, and I was more confused after the ultrasound than before the ultrasound.
The ultrasound's supposed to help not make things worse.
Yeah. So then that's when I was like, all right, I got to ask someone with more experience than me. And so I asked JPC, and he's like, oh, yeah, they will. And I was like, all right. So I'm not the only person this has happened to.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh, man. That would have drove me. Yeah. That would have drove me nuts.
But boas.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say boas are really like a balancing act between not overfeeding and not underfeeding.
Mhm.
Because like with the females, if you don't feed them enough, they're not going to go. And if you feed them too much, they're going to get fat, and they may not go because they're too fat. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, you got to hit it right, you know?
And the males too. We didn't feed up a backup male for last year for breeding season, and our primary male, we threw him in and we were just like, you know what? He's just not quite big enough. Argentines can be a bit aggressive to the males sometimes. So
Okay.
the male was 18 months. We were like, I think don't really feel comfortable leaving him in there.
He looked like a snack.
Yeah, we pulled him out, threw the tried and true male back in, and he just was kind of lackluster. Wasn't really going at it like he normally does, and I think we just didn't feed him up quite enough. And she had a litter that was half slugs, half good babies, half slugs, and it was funny because we'd pull the male, give him a meal, and we'd put him back in, and he'd show a burst of interest and then just kind of sputter out, and he just didn't have enough reserves. So we learned, from that, feed your backups, feed your backup males.
Yeah.
Well, I know Mike had a female crush a male.
Yeah, that would
like I never would have thought that would have happened either.
Yeah, yeah.
But it seems like boas are just very finicky, as I guess you could say. They're finicky. They're slightly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just never would have thought like a female crushing a male for no reason.
The males can breed at like a pretty small size, and you can have a female that's 8 foot, and you could have a 3.5 foot male breeder. Yeah. So, but those females are way bigger. So yeah, I could see that happening. And last year when we paired that male, that's kind of what I was worried. Like that's why I went up pulling him out.
Yeah.
She also tried to eat her other male one time. So when I put him in and he looked so small next to her, I was just like, if she bites this guy, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. So I just didn't feel comfortable with it. So we threw the other male back in. Yeah, she bit him.
Champion bit and wrapped his head.
Yeah.
What?
Bit and wrapped his head, and we're just staring for a minute. Like, what do we do? What do we even do?
And then she pulled him out, and we pulled a complete spaghetti of Argentine boa apart, and luckily he survived. And I think we gave him a week or so off, let him heal up, and it might have been a week or two, maybe 2 weeks. We threw him back in, and he bred her and got her. Yeah.
There's no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Chris is saying, tell the Argentine story. Is it the one I just told? Is he talking about?
I would assume so, but I don't know. Chris, is that story you were talking about, or is there another story we don't know about? Let me give Chris a minute here to
putting him on the spot.
Will says he's got a breeder girl that strikes, wraps, kills, then never finishes. Huh. Well, I've had two. I've had one girl that's doing the same thing, dude.
Yeah.
It's not just you. And
definitely.
I'm kind of watching her because I was breeding her, but she's not going to keep eating. She's not going to keep getting the male. All right. Yeah. Chris says that was the story.
Yeah. That was nuts. Like
that. Yeah, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, they're so food responsive. Like, so a lot of times, you come in here at night and flick a light on, and they're just immediately thinking food. And she came in here, flicked the light on, and I think the Argentine was like ready for food, saw the male's movement, and just hit it. And then
The hell with checking to make sure what you're striking at is actually food. We're just gonna go after what
Yeah.
moves.
shoot
Where
first,
were you?
ask questions later.
Were
Yeah.
you
Yep.
downstairs when that happened?
Yeah, I was downstairs and you screamed down to me, John, the Argentine just bit and wrapped the mail. And I came running up. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're thinking, wait, I'm awake, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. I thought he was done for, but he's a champion.
And then
I would have been,
Well,
that
the
would have had me
guy-
a little bit on edge there with him. I'm surprised you threw him what and gave him another shot with her.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and he got it done, and he has every year since then. We asked the guy who has the Max Pinks, Bob Guerrera, because if there's anyone who knows how to breed Argentines, it's him. He has a huge collection of them, been doing it for ages, and he was like, yeah, sometimes some males are just a little sacrificial. So
Yeah, he was like, yeah, they'll do that. It's kind of funny. Like there's certain things that aren't in the books that you find out when it happens. And then you ask another breeder and they're like, oh yeah, Boas will just bite a male and wrap it sometimes. You got to watch. Yeah. It doesn't happen often, but it happens.
It's life experiences.
Yeah.
Life experiences that, yeah. See, this is good stuff for everybody to hear, though, because someone will watch this and be like, okay, thank goodness I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it's helpful. I can't tell you how many times we've seen things and then gone and asked other breeders, like, are we crazy?
No, I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
You guys want to show off any ball pythons?
Sure.
Who do we? Oh, I got one you'll like.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Because we're about an hour and a half into it. I've been trying to keep everything down to about 2 hours.
Okay. You want to go?
Look at that. I think we need the other camera up again.
Look at the other camera? Yeah.
Yeah, let's pull up the other camera.
The ball pythons will probably be a lot more cooperative.
Look at that.
I wonder if we can. Does that color look
Yeah, that's a
better?
lot better.
That looks perfect there, Haley.
There we go.
That's a Firefly. What, spot nose too?
Yeah.
Firefly spot nose. SK Xanthic, 100% het clown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, is that female or male?
That's a male from JD Constriction.
You can send him over here for the year.
We'll let you
He's
know.
gorgeous looking.
It's probably going to be a while.
Yeah, we got some plans for this guy.
For sure.
Oh, he's on the move now. Who else can we show off?
Show the expensive lesser.
Yeah. The $3,000 lesser.
I wouldn't say the exact amount. So she is a super orange dream Mojave hypo 100% het pied.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love all the blushing on her. Holy crap.
She looks like a lesser, basically.
Yeah.
It's a really expensive lesser, yeah.
Yeah.
But that blushing, dude, holy crap.
Yeah, her head is totally blushed out. And
Yeah.
This is the one who we think we might get to breed this season. We're really hoping so. We have a male we're pretty excited to put to her.
Maybe late this season, yeah, if we can, but
We'll see.
Okay.
We will see.
and then I guess grab Emma too if we're doing.
Oh yeah,
if we're
Emma.
doing the
The Pied Project.
pod project, yeah.
How many ball python clutches are you looking to, or how many pairings are you going for this season?
This year only like 4 or so,
Well,
Okay.
maybe 5, and then next year that'll probably double because we have a lot of females that were growing up. And she is a
Don't fall off, girl.
super orange dream Enchi leopard het pied.
All right. Well, I at least had two genes going on in my head as to what it was. I saw Enchi and I saw leopard, but I didn't know if it was super Enchi or what.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
We really like the Super OD pied stuff with Enchi in it. It's just awesome. And then
This is kind of graying her out a bit too.
yeah, it is. She's a lot brighter than that. But yeah, and then with the hypo too, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good girl. Excuse you.
And I'll show you. Here's another one for you real quick, Jeremy.
Look at that.
Pastel yellow belly, SK Xanthic Het Clown.
That is very, very nice.
Excuse you. Come back.
Get your butt back in frame.
We can put her
Yeah,
back.
she has no intention of
she's
sitting still.
no intention of sitting still.
Dude, I was trying to take pictures put up on Instagram today of some of the snakes that just shed. And I had the light all set up. I had my big piece of cardboard, and not cardboard, poster board paper down. And do you think I could get anything to sit still to take a couple pictures? I got one where I got a half-ass decent picture of it. And after that, I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm done trying today. I was getting frustrated.
If you didn't have a camera, they wouldn't move for hours.
Exactly. Exactly. That's beautiful.
So that is Orange Dream, Enchi, Pastel Pied, 100% Het Hypo, male.
That's beautiful. And then it's like the perfect balance of pattern and white.
He was exactly what we were looking for in a male.
Yeah.
We
And that's
wanted a
actually,
nice-
that's not showing. His color's a lot more intense than what's coming up on there.
Yeah, he like
No, I believe that. I
Yeah.
believe that.
trying to get color on camera. It's a nightmare.
It is. I mean, it's just like if everybody's watching, just me, like I go from this like glossy toy looking Jeremy without my hand by my face, and then I go like this, and I become a normal looking person again. So if everybody wonders why I keep sitting like this randomly, it's because I see how toy like I look without it, and it bothers the crap out of me. So I try to keep my hand up here so I don't look so shiny. Ooh, look at that.
So that is a Firefly Enchi Clown. And that's actually from Chris from BNS. We got that girl.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a female we picked up from him this year.
She has the biggest appetite. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And the camera's not doing her justice as you. She's like neon yellow.
Oh, take it easy, Chris. Thanks for being coming on here and hanging out with us tonight, dude.
I give him a shout out and he leaves.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out.
He's like, he said my name. I'm out of here. I can't do this.
Oh, never mind. He's not leaving. He meant the snake.
Yeah, the snake is very much out. We can show off Lacey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we all thought you were leaving, Chris.
We named some of them just because it's so much easier to keep track of who's who when they've named.
It is.
We
Even
used
though
to,
I'm the only one down here doing any of the work, but
So that
I like that.
that's high intensity orange dream, yellow belly, firefly, leopard, het clown.
I freaking love that, dude.
We do too.
That is nuts.
yeah, she's insane. She's so bright and she's got so much blushing and such a crazy pattern already.
Yeah, I can't wait to pair that girl.
Yeah.
You can just put her to a clown and you're gonna make crazy stuff. So
Yeah. 'Cause I know the high intensity OD that I have Like the
That's bad.
oranges, yeah, I mean it's a super etchy, high intensity OD, but the oranges are like next level compared to my other orange dream. It's just like holy crap.
Wow. Yeah. I just we love like the orange dream stuff and just
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of like color enhancing things. Like even in the bows, we work with a lot of pastel lines and anything to brighten stuff up and give more contrast is where we're at.
I mean that stuff's eye catching though. That's the big thing. It's eye catching.
Nah, I don't pull it.
No?
No. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Not Fury. She's deep in shed. I think she'll be mad if we.
We'll do I think that's it for balls.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah,
So
we got one more boa we can show you real quick though.
All right, yeah. Let's show it off, dude.
Snakehamson would be a better one.
And everybody, just so you know, their social media is in the description down below. So if you want to check out their Morph Market, go do so because the link is there to go check out what they've got on Morph Market, along with their Instagram and Facebook, all that good stuff. Definitely go give them a follow and all that good stuff. Show them some love, please.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a Sunglow IMG boa.
Yeah, and again,
Hold
totally
back now, yeah.
washed out as colors. Doesn't even.
Still pretty looking though, even with it being washed out a little bit.
Yeah, he's like super intensely like deep orange and red.
Yeah, let's switch to the other camp and show off Snakehamson.
We're getting down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I know we had touched base on it a little bit earlier. What are you guys seeing as far as like the market, like the boa market compared to the ball python market? Since you've got both, what are your thoughts on it? What are the differences with how everything's kind of affecting the other?
So like 2020 and like midway 2021, everything was just didn't matter what you put up, it just flew off the shelves, you know. We're a little early in the ball pythons too. So most of what we're selling ball python wise right now is we don't have much of it, and then also it's it's like byproduct. We're actually holding back a lot of the good stuff from our pairings right now.
I feel you on that one. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. But Boas is definitely more of a niche market, but they kind of fetch a higher price in general. Like the lower end is higher than like a ball python would be.
Okay.
And then there's certain things that are like staples that just sell well, like IMGs. Anytime we make like a single gene IMG, like they fly. Yeah, it's a smaller market. It's more like niche, but it's definitely been good to us for sure.
Yeah, even with it being really slow, it's been a really slow year. Even so, stuff like the IMGs, het leopards immediately sold.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, still there's just still demand for it. So
yeah. There's also you have in the boas too. There something that's different is you have a lot of localities and stuff like that, and people are very much into them, and those are like even more niche markets that there's not many morphs in the litters, but you're selling every snake in the litter is sold for the same price. You know what I mean? So you're kind of ball pythons. You might have a few $1,000 snake and a $200 snake in the same clutch.
Yeah.
Whereas the bow is generally there's not as much of a range like that usually until you're doing like more of the crazy morphs. But with the localities, they fetch a decent price because there's really just not that many of them out there.
Okay.
yeah. Something else with boas that's a little different than ball pythons is pastel lines. So pastels and boas is not a gene; it's just an accumulation of line breeding, selectively breeding for cleaner pattern, more intense color. And that's something that, you can get a jungle boa from one person who just breeds for the genes, doesn't really pay too much attention to the amount of color in it or how clean it is. And you can get the same exact thing from somebody else, and night and day difference. So with boas, the reputation is a much bigger deal, I think, because of those pastel lines, and a lot of people will want a certain snake, certain combination of genes from a certain person, because that person's look night and day different than anybody else's.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do have a little bit of that with ball pythons as well. Like everybody says, oh, Justin Kabilka and Ozzy, they can sell snakes for more than anyone else, but it's on a different level with boas. I mean,
yeah,
there's some where the amount of color in them, where there's technically no known gene at least causing it, just from selectively breeding, will be infinitely brighter than anyone else's.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with John Daig there with JD Constriction, his Xanthic stuff. I mean, it's probably, in my opinion, some of the nicest Xanthic lines out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because he's just fine-tuned it. It's just over him selectively breeding everything.
Yeah. And it's like in boas, you can have a blood boa and one will be brown and the other one's fire engine red. It's like it can be that much of a difference, like side by side.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like they can look like a completely different animal, So we try to work pastel lines into every boa that we make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So do you guys have any, since we're kind of counting down here, do you guys have any tips for people wanting to get into boas? Things about like starting up stuff, things to think about before jumping into breeding boas, anything like that?
I would say be very, very selective and really think about what you want to do. Mainly because like they're very big, they get big and they take up a lot more space. It's a lot more an investment in time. So any mistakes that you make take a lot longer to correct. So make sure you really decide on like what you want and get your females first. And you can wait a year or even 2 before you get a male. And and just be very selective and really decide, like, pick a direction, because they're going to need like a 6-foot cage as an adult, unless you're working with the dwarf species that can more stay in, rack systems and stuff. And they do make bigger rack systems, but generally people starting out aren't jumping right into a freedom breeder or IRS. And it sneaks up on you. Like, I feel like 3.5 to 4.5 years sounds like a long time, but all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I need to get a cage, So,
you get to that point before you realize it.
Yeah. So it's more of a long game. So it's like any mistakes are kind of magnified, and do your research. Like, read as much as you can about breeding. Any books you can find, and different sources. Don't just follow one person's. And then when you start breeding, you're going to kind of find what works for you.
Yeah. My thing would probably be just keep an open mind. Like John said, do a ton of research, but do it with an open mind, because you're going to read things that it seems like everybody's saying, this is what you do, this is the way. And your experience might be saying, this isn't working for me. And don't double down on something that's not working for you just because, supposedly everybody says something. Keep an open mind. Don't discredit what everybody's saying, but also don't be married to it. Be willing to look at the evidence, what you see in front of you, and adjust accordingly.
Okay. I just now thought of something else to ask. Gene-wise with boas, what would you guys consider to be, how do I want to word it? kind of like your sustainability litters. Like where like for ball pythons, like your bells are normally like a sustainability clutch. You're easy to produce stuff, but it's stuff that it sells quick. It's an easy sale, and it's kind of the bread and butter for the stuff that may take a little bit longer to move.
Sun glows.
Yeah, sun glows and IMGs, and even single gene, and really single gene IMGs rather than combos. If you're looking for like bread and butter stuff that sells well and stuff, those two things you can't go wrong.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Brandon, what's going on, dude? Thanks for tuning in. He says he has always people asking for bloods. I only made a few this year. This coming, that's all I'll make. Huh.
Yeah. We get people ask for bloods a lot, and we have people ask for dwarf bows a lot. And unfortunately, we have to refer them to one of our friends because we don't produce a lot of them either.
Yeah,
okay.
all our dwarf stuff we're crossing into Colombian stuff to make combos with. So I'd like to breed pure Sonoran dwarfs, but our pure Sonoran leopard girl, we have so many projects for her that she's needed for that it's going to be a while before we put just a dwarf to her.
Oh, okay. Burton wants to know, do you think the current ball python market could affect the boa market? If so, how do you think it will? That's actually a really good question.
Yeah, it is. I would say that I think the boa market actually slowed down before the ball python market did. So we noticed in the fall of 2021, it slowed down a little bit. So like we were still selling regularly, but not like 2020 by any means. So there seemed to be a lag between the boa market slowing down, and because we were saying, we're like, I think ball pythons are going to be next, but it's going to take longer because it's such a massively bigger market. If you go on Morph Market, there's like 47,000 ball pythons and like 4,000 boas.
Okay.
So it's
that's a big difference.
It's a huge difference, yeah. And I think boas are actually the second biggest category up there. I mean, corn snakes might ask them, I'm not sure, but so yeah, I think there was a lag. So I don't think the ball python market will affect it. I mean, I could even see some ball python people branching out into boas because of the slowing ball python.
I've heard of a couple of people branching out into boas because of it. Mm-hmm. And then I've got my buddy Mike that's, mainly works with the boas, but he's branching into the ball pythons a little bit. Yeah. But then what he branches out to, he sends to me to work with it. He's really not branching. He's just going out and going, here, work with this for me.
He's setting up a franchise.
Yeah, exactly. He's smart.
Yeah, we've been thinking about branching out into stuff. If you'll take that on for us too.
Let's not get too crazy here, but if you send that SK boy, that spot nose SK boy over here, we'll talk, John. We'll talk.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that. My opinion on it is, I don't think they're totally separate markets. Mm-hmm. I don't think the ball pythons will affect the boas. If anything, like you said, John, I agree with you that I think people are gonna be diversifying into boas, because now with anything, it's the time to buy.
Yeah,
I mean, prices are down a little bit. People want to move stuff just to make room for the babies that are coming up for the 2023 season.
Yeah.
I think that now's the time, if you can afford it and swing it, now's the time to invest in some stuff that's, higher end, or that you probably wouldn't normally have bought into.
Yeah. And in boas, your money goes a lot further than it does in ball pythons. I will say that.
Yeah.
That's a big difference between the markets.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can, there's some, like John was saying earlier, there's some pretty obvious directions in boas that haven't really been taken yet. Whereas ball pythons, you have to think so many steps ahead to produce something new or something different. That's not really use in Boas still. There's still a lot of very obvious combinations that really haven't been done. There's a lot of single, one recessive plus an incomplete dominant that haven't been done yet in Boas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's, obviously a lot more people. The bow market's growing, so a lot more people getting in on it. It's not going to stay like that forever, but it's a really good time. I think that boas now are where ball pythons were maybe 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, like 10, 15 years ago. Yeah.
Where, there's, when I first got into it, you could still make a lot of money putting a pastel to a spider ball python, and it's sort of like that in boas now. Like you can still make good money putting, a labyrinth to a blood or something, or different genes like that. There's a lot of potential.
Yeah. No, I like I said, now is the time to get into stuff if you can do it.
For sure.
The market isn't dead by any means on any of it. I mean, hell, there at Oaks, I had an outrageously great show, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And that was after hearing people say all the market's crash. You just got to be right stuff at the right time with the right people. That's all it is. I mean, people are I'm not gonna lie, people are more cautious.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not saying, I mean, people still want to spend money. I mean, they still got money burning a hole in their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's ebbs and flows to any business, and you know what I mean. I work construction, and when the recession hit, you couldn't work for free. I mean, but a lot of people dropped out during that time, and then when the construction market came back, I was promoted like a year later. So it was like, a lot of people fall out, and then the supply becomes short again, and then prices start going back up again, and you just got to ride it out. And then part of the reason we branched out into ball pythons as well, one, we like them, two, they take up way less space, but then the third thing was like we do shows with BNS next to us often, and it's like some shows we would do, we'd be selling tons of boas and he wouldn't be selling any ball pythons. And then other shows we go to, ball pythons are flying off his table and nobody's buying boas. So we're like, why not have both? So.
No. And it's like, it's hard. Like, there's not as many people working with boas at the moment either, which is surprising. It's a very, like you said, it's very niche, like community essentially. It's like the carpets. I mean, there's not a lot of people working in carpet pythons either.
Yeah.
It's very few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
There's ball pythons out the wazoo.
Yeah.
But I think having, like for me, is for example, like ball pythons are the base. They're like the basis of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the carpets add that spice, that splash of boom. Like, you can't mistake a big, bright yellow and black snake.
No.
I mean, it stands out. Like it adds that little bit of spice to the what you got.
They have a great temperament too. They're I mean, great being a relative term. They're fun to work with, carpet pythons. They're engaging. They're active.
Yep.
They're curious. I have a male that's just a pet that I've had forever. No plans of breeding, but they're cool.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, I love mine. I wish they'd do something. Tangled up there. Here, I'll show you guys. Like they're all.
Yeah.
That's Xena, and then the male's back there on the branch. But
Playing together is a good sign, though. Yeah.
It's a start, right?
You can ultrasound her too, see where she's at.
That's the plan. Dom's at his mom's house this week, so I'm thinking it's going to be at least a 3-person job. I'm gonna have Dom hold her. I'm gonna run the ultrasound, and I'm gonna have to get Kara to film. Which will mean Hadley will be down in the snake room as well, which adds just complete chaos to the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that.
It's definitely like I figured it's got to be filmed because that's just going to be an experience.
Mhm.
Dom's unsure of Xena at the start. Hadley's obsessed with Xena, so it's just it's the perfect level of chaos. Plus, like you said, I'm curious as to what's going on because 2 weeks in a row she didn't want to eat, and that's the first.
Yeah.
And from what Riley had told me, if they start to not want to eat females, that's a very good sign at this time of year. So it's like, okay, well, at least we got something in our favor. They just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
We definitely find a lot of times our males know what's going on way before we do. We'll put a male in, and like when the humidifier went out last year and the 2 females started reabsorbing, our first cue that was happening was the males just suddenly out of nowhere, just boom, lost interest. They were, one day they're all over the females. They're courting, they're going crazy, they're doing everything they can to lock, and next day they're just no interest, none whatsoever. Just females over here, males over here, and
our boa breeding season this year came like way sooner than it has before, and part of the reason we realized that was every one of our male boas started just going nuts. Like every time we would open their cage, they'd be coming out, and we were like, "Are they that hungry? What's going on?" Because the males don't get fed nearly as much as the females. But then I started looking. The more we looked at it, the more we were like, I think they want to breed. So then we ultrasounded our females, and one of our females was at like 20 millimeters.
Oh, jeez.
We had no idea. Yeah, like
we hadn't fed her up, or
we didn't even
started.
We didn't even start the season yet. We hadn't started feeding her weekly meals or anything. So yeah, they seem to know even before we do.
I say they can. It's all of the pheromones floating around through the air.
Yeah.
Well, I know, like, since I've got the ultrasound now, that's the one. Like every month, I'm gonna go through and ultrasound all the girls that are inbreeding. Any girls that are approaching that 1,100-1,200 gram mark, I'm gonna definitely be ultrasounding them every month just to keep track because if I'm not seeing follicles, I'm not going to be pairing them, obviously. But if I start seeing follicle growth, they're getting a male. As long as they're eating, they're going to get a male, and we're going to see if what we can get out of them.
Yeah, it takes the guesswork out of it,
and
it helps you catch stuff like that. Like if we didn't ultrasound that female, like we probably wouldn't have put a male in. Yep. We ultimately would have saw her building follicles and then put a male in, but it probably would have been too late by then, and we probably would have got plugs,
Well, I know, like, the girl that I have that's due to lay here, I think it's like January 6th, 8th, something like that. If it wouldn't have been for me having Nathan ultrasound her before I got her from him, I never would have known to start throwing a male in as soon as I could. And that's the whole reason why she even is going now.
Yeah.
Because Nathan ultrasounded her for me.
Yeah, we got an ultrasound last year, and we wound up getting two ball python clutches that it was 2 females we were like giving up on. And like we weren't even pairing them anymore or anything. And we were just like, just for a laugh, throw it on them, see what's going on. And both of them were like at 15 millimeters. And I think one was at 20. And
wow.
We were like, I guess they are going to go. And we started pairing them again. And we got 2 clutches. And then this year, that female, we didn't even know, and we caught that. We just caught another female who she gave a late litter. So we assumed she wasn't going to go till later in the year. Yeah. And we ultrasounded her last weekend, and she was at 12 millimeters already.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah.
So she's almost double clutching it, basically.
Yeah, it's not far. Yeah, she just gave birth in, I think, late July.
Oh, wow. That is a quick turnaround.
Yeah. So we assumed it would be at least 6 months.
Yeah.
So she's already got a mail in with her too.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good too because with the boas, they're so prone to reabsorbing. I guess I shouldn't say that. To be fair, most of the boas don't reabsorb, but it does happen, and we seem to so far have it happen every season, at least one. And we're starting to notice on the ultrasound, it looks a little different when they start reabsorbing too. Like the first follicles that are usually the biggest then become the first to shrink. So like if they have pretty big follicles, but those first follicles are a little smaller, we're like, all right, just give up, put the male back, let him rest.
Yeah.
So it's good for stuff like that too. It can help just not have to worry about overspending your males or things like that.
That's my big thing is the ultrasound's gonna allow me to pinpoint when to throw that male in there. Because before I was, it's every month, is on a timer. It's like, boom, the male's going in. Now I'm going to just watch it. I'm going to more do the pairings at follicle sizes more than once a month increments.
Yeah. Yep. Another thing too with the boas, if you find that, if you can confirm a female's reabsorbing, the boas are 1-to-1. So it's one male to one female. So if you find out she's reabsorbing, you can, if that's a really powerful male, you can now put it to a different female. You know what I mean? Like instead of wasting them and burning them up,
Yeah.
You can sometimes get more than one. We've gotten 2 litters out of one male in a season, but it's really difficult to do, and you got to it's got to be timed like perfectly. Oh,
okay.
That's really, and the timing is not even really up to you; it's up to the females. So.
Nathan, your little remark here, brother, just so you know, you're right to an extent, but at the same token, your pod girl still has not eaten for me yet. Think she's defective. I swear, like sometimes I can't win for losing. Nate did me a solid, traded me a pied for a pied. And the pied, because the pied girl I had was a mouser. So he traded me his pastel pied for my pied, which one upped me thing, which I was grateful for. But he got her. Now, mind you, she only would eat mice, live mice, even like not frozen thawed, nothing.
Oh no!
He got her like she's on rats now. Like she took rats like her second meal with him. And this pied I got from him never missed a meal. Well, she's here now and she's never taken a meal. She's been here for like, I don't know, a month, 2 months, something like that. It's just like, what the hell?
Maybe you should try a mouse.
I have thought about it. I'm not going to lie, but I just figured if I don't offer it, she's not going to get hooked on it.
You're going to eat rats for him, and his is going to eat mice for you.
If that's what it would end up being, I don't know what I would do. I'd just cry.
Rats. We have our quarantine in the rat room, and we've never had a quarantine snake not eat. They go crazy. They smell the rats all the time, and they just want to eat all the time. And it is unintentional on our part. It was the only place we could put quarantine racks, but it's worked out perfectly. Every snake we put in there just smashes food.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. And now the girl, what is she? The black pastel Huffman that I got from Nathan. She eats like a dream. Awesome. Like she smashes food. It might be something with pies. Maybe pies just don't like me. I don't know.
It might be on something, but I've heard of that. Yeah.
I downsized her to a smaller, like to a 10 series tub on my hatchling rack because she was in the 5520. And I thought, all right, well, maybe because of it being clear and the tub size, because I think she was in a 1060 in a 10 series tub at Nate's.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right, well, I'll put her back into a 10 series tub, even though mine are semi-clear. Nate's are all gray, I think.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know what her ordeal is. I'm hoping that it's just, she's going through that 1,000-gram wall, and once she gets her crap together, she'll return to a normal snake.
yeah.
Bring her every week.
I'll tell you what though, man. We love those gray tubs. Like I always had clear, and then we got an ARS with the gray, and boas and ball pythons. I love the gray ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the animals just seem to do better in them.
Actually, the blue you see in the background there, we have a Freedom Breeder rack that has clear on the front, and we go over.
Yeah,
we have too many boas that just a few of them are just nervous and they don't like being able to see the commotion out there. And then a lot of times with the boas, they have such a strong food response. They'll smash up their faces. They'll
strike. They'll strike at the front of the tub. Like while we're feeding other stuff, they'll just start striking the front of the tub.
Yeah.
So a lot of the clear ones we wind up taping over and stuff like that, so they don't do it.
See, I've never had any issues with anything that's been produced here. I've never had any issues with the clear or semi-clear stuff.
Yeah.
Even stuff bringing in normally, it's okay. It's just here lately, it's just been weird.
Yeah. It's all
Sean
too.
Sean says, Jeremy, I don't know who's more stressed, you or the pies, dude. It just baffles me, dude. I wouldn't even know if it's stress. It's more of frustration and baffled as to what the heck is going on.
She'll probably just go back on food in spring is what'll happen.
Yeah.
Well, that might be. 905 says, I just heard yesterday that if a female won't eat, you should put a male or substrate from a male's enclosure in with her. Stimulate the female. That's a thought I could maybe like she's too small for me to want to throw a male in with her. She's only at like 800 grams.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, have a male lock up with her at 800 grams. She's like 850 somewhere in there, I think. But the bedding from a male, that's an idea. I might have to try that once.
Yeah.
Old man says, Jeremy used Flex Seal on her tub to darken it up. Flex Seal's reptile safe. Oh, okay. That's a thought. I might try the thing, the substrate thing from the male's enclosure. Might even just have to take her for a ride, or maybe I'll just suck it up and drive her down to Nate's house every 2 weeks. It'll give me an excuse to come see everybody.
Yeah, we had an entire litter of psychos. That Sonoran leopard girl that we have, she's absolutely stunning, but she's kind of a nutcase, and the entire litter we had to darken all the tubs. We had clear vision tubs that they were in, and we had to just tape them all over with blue tape just to get them to chill out a little bit, give them more food. Just the entire litter of just nutcase snakes.
Yeah. Breeding snakes is like never-ending problem solving. It's just like
why are they?
Yes.
Either
whether adults, hatchlings, it's nonstop trying to figure out what the heck are they thinking, what's going on
with the animals, then with the room, getting your temperatures dialed in, and it's never ending.
Switching racks.
Yeah.
That's another problem we've run into is using PVC enclosed racks and also using like the open ARS Freedom Breeder Vision type racks, trying to run them all in the same room because some hold humidity really well, some hold humidity too well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's another tip for first time or people just getting into it. Stay with the same style of rack and cages. Don't have like a hodgepodge of different racks like we do, because it makes it a lot harder to dial everything in.
Oh yeah.
That's a very good point too. I never would have thought about that, but you're right on that one, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely would make it it would make it a pain in the ass, to say the least.
What helps one hurts the other.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a hard life. First world problems.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody else have any questions for these fine folks? Because if not, we're gonna call it a night. And like I said before, make sure you guys go check out their social media information is in the description down below. Definitely check out their Morph Market, folks. John and Haley have some killer stuff. Go check out the Morph Market. Check out their Instagram and Facebook. Just follow them because that's going to be the best way to know what's going on with them.
Yeah. And we
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy.
Hey, no problem, guys. No problem. I appreciate you coming on. I definitely one of these. I want to get you guys on a round table here at some point. Maybe for the next one that I do. I know for everybody. I know I said in the beginning, but anybody that's missed the beginning of it, next week our live will be on Friday. Actually, it's this week, I guess technically. So Friday, folks, we will be doing our live stream 8 p.m. I know it interferes with Keys Constrictors with their hair down Friday. It interferes with Gershana GP Snakes with his live stream. I apologize to you guys for that have those streams. I'm sorry. It's just a time frame that I like the 8 p.m. stuff. It's kind of like a nice sweet spot, I think. But we're going to be doing a breeder roundtable. We've got Nathan from Infinite Possible Pythons, Chris from BNS Reptilia, Danny from DTMG, and John and Christine from Triforce Morse. It's going to be a crazy live with that group. It's just you never know what you're going to get out of Danny. John and Christine are a blast. Nathan and Chris are going to have to help keep me wrangling the other guys and keep them in line. But it's definitely going to be a great live. There's going to be tons of information. We're going to be covering a lot of like the market stuff, diversifying your collections and everything. Just kind of getting a couple different perspectives because there's been some changes going on in that group of people with what they're doing and how they're working things at the moment. So I think it's going to be a really good, informative live. So definitely do not miss it. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nathan, as well, dude. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you Friday night. And it sucks I couldn't make that dinner at Danny's. Straight Bless, what's up, dude? You're late, but you can go back and rewatch it. Keep Danny away from your snakes. He will have bird food for days. Yes, Will. Yes. You gotta watch. Danny keeps the bird sanctuary birds fat. I'll put it that way. Danny definitely keeps the bird sanctuary birds fed.
You gotta worry about that one we traded with him. We know we're gonna see a picture of that one going off to the birds.
Yeah, he could be trading to keep the birds fed. We don't know.
Yeah.
Well, see, that was a visual clown though, so you're good. That wasn't bird food. That was a visual clown. So that wasn't bird food by his standards. But anyway, all right. So that's gonna be it, everybody. John, Haley, just stay here 1 second after we end this. Everybody, I have an unboxing for Wednesday's video, so check that out. Also, if you missed anything from this live, go back and rewatch it, please. And like I said, don't miss Friday night's live stream because it's going to be a fun one. Let's see. I will be publishing. Awesome, Straight Blast. Awesome. Congratulations on making that jump.
Awesome.
And don't worry, dude. Watch my first videos. They were horrendous. Like absolutely horrendous. I'm not going to lie. Will says has to be a het bird food, no visuals.
Whoever created him then would be bird food because she's het leopard.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. All right. So everybody, that's going to be it. I'll catch you guys next time. So everybody take it easy. And if by some chance you can't make it Friday, everybody have a good, very Merry Christmas.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
Yep. Thanks, guys, for coming on. And just hang on 1 second here while we wrap this up.